Hi, I'm Bill Bradley. Join me for a recent excerpt of American Voices. These days, many people are in a rush, trying to squeeze some free time from their very busy days. So when it comes to waiting in line, what if someone could do that for you and save you time? Well, that's what my next guest does. Robert Samuel started Same Ole Line Dudes. They wait in line for concert tickets, for a restaurant table, a handbag, so their clients don't have to wait in line themselves. Robert's here with me now to tell us about his company. Robert, welcome to American Voices.
Thank you so much for having me, Bill.
So, sounds like a great idea to me. I mean, who likes standing in line? So how'd you come up with this idea?
Well, it started back in 2012. I was recently terminated from my position as a cell phone rep. And for most of the year, I was somewhat depressed and, just trying to figure out what my next move was going to be. So when the new iPhone came out, as it always does in September, I was questioning, how could I be a part of the iPhone experience, even though I wasn't selling iPhones anymore? So I posted an ad on Craigslist to wait for somebody's iPhone at an Apple store, just so I could be a part of the whole experience.
Right.
And the gentleman that hired me because his online order wasn't going through. So I was the backup plan. So when I got down there to the Apple store, which was only a few blocks from my home, third in line, I believe. And after a few hours, his online order went through. He said, "You don't have to wait. My online order went through." And so I was about to leave. And he said, "What are you doing? You're number 3. Why don't you sell your prime spot?" So then that's when I sold the spot and then made a second $100 off the same spot. And then I went further back in the line, probably like 7 or 8, and sold a third spot in line.
So how many employees do you have now?
Currently, we have about 32. So we have a primary staff that we work with regularly. They work whenever they want based on their availability. And then we have about 10 or so people that we pull in when we have like really high in demand jobs.
Robert, tell me about the woman with the walker.
So I have a neighbor who is maybe mid-80s. She won't tell me her real age, but she saw some of my employees bringing in chairs and tents into the lobby one day. And she said, "You guys work for Robert, right?" And they said, "Yeah." She's like, "How is it?" And they were like, "Oh, it's cool. It's easy work. It's not strenuous. It's, anybody can do it." So she saw me at the mailboxes and she said, "Robert, I want to work for you." And I thought she was joking. And she said, "No, I'm serious. I'm able and I'm reliable." So I put it to the test, and she uses a walker that has like a portable seat attached to it. And she's one of my most dependable workers. Like if I give her a heads up and I tell her I need her to be here on this day and time, she books her accessoride. The car brings her. We help her out the car. And all she does is sit in her walker for 2, 3, 4 hours and she works. Now, the only thing is she doesn't work when it's cold, obviously. But she just called me a couple of weeks ago. She said, "Robert, the weather's breaking. I'm ready to get back to work." So we'll be using her for Swatch watches, for pizza, for restaurants, anything that we got extra space for her, we'll definitely use her.
What a great story. If you don't mind me asking, what kind of money do you get with 32 employees?
Well, we charge $25 per hour. We charge extra for inclement weather, for rush service, for holidays. But we have like 4 different options that add on top of the $25 per hour. So it ranges. Like my lowest has possibly been around maybe 60, I think like 60K, and it's been as much as 90K.
Wow.
That's the owners, that's the boss. Everybody else doesn't make
That's
that.
a lot. What kind of people wait in line?
As time went on, we have, college students, we have retirees, we have stay-at-home moms, we have people that have full-time jobs. I've had people that could only work nights and weekends because they had a 9 to 5. And so they would jump on to do jobs in the evening for restaurants or comedy clubs, and then work on the weekends as well. So, it runs the gamut from people as young as 18. I actually have a girl who works for me. Her dad works for me, and she's in high school, and she's using the extra funds, to hold on to for college. So she's like, "Can I work? Can I work? Can I work?" And I'm like, "Check with your dad first." And he says
Yeah,
it's
right.
okay.
So, but in your first 8 months, you only had 2 clients. So, what advice do you have for people who are trying to start a company and who might have an idea but might be on the fence when it comes to actually taking the leap?
I would say do your research and your due diligence and see if anything out there exists, even remotely related, and see what you can offer to the marketplace that's different, and don't give up, because as weird as it may seem, there's probably a market for it and somebody would likely pay for that service.
So, what's been the funniest thing you've waited in line for?
The funniest thing, you actually touched on it during the introduction. McDonald's had a release of a Szechuan sauce for chicken nuggets based on cartoon called Rick and Morty, I believe. And the sauce, the chicken nugget sauce was free, and it was only available for one day,
Oh,
and at
my.
I think select locations. So waiting online for free chicken McNugget sauce, I would definitely say was the funniest.
I wonder if if you wait in line a long time for a client,
Mm-hmm.
do you ever feel a connection with that person, that you're either celebrating with them in a way or that you're part of their experience?
Yes, I'll give you a perfect example of that. We were hired several years ago to wait for pre-K over in, I believe it was Jersey City. There was a well-known school that was offering free pre-K for kids. And I don't have children, but from what I hear, pre-K is very expensive. So if you can get, any kind of free education for your kids, and that helps them, later in life. Because, the studies show kids who go to school early and earlier in life, they advance faster. So it was good to be able to help these parents give their kids a head start by waiting in line for pre-K. So we were really happy about that. And on the flip side, we also did waiting in line for senior citizen homes. So we've done the whole spectrum from early childhood to the elderly.
So, what's your favorite part of running Same Ole Line Dudes?
The people that I get to meet, different cultures. I have customers from uh, all around the world that when they come to New York, they seek me out. And I have one customer who's one of my favorite customers. She's from Greece, and she comes to New York about twice a year to go to sales and take in the sights and do everything. So I've gotten to be really close with her, and other customers from other parts of the country. Even I have customers in Rhode Island. I have customers in California, in Florida. One actually even invited me to Thanksgiving dinner because she loves me so much. It's amazing when you can get things. When you can get things for people, they really take a liking to you.
You know, yeah, but so you're in a unique position to sense who people are.
Yes.
And you meet people when they're desperate. They're desperate to purchase an item, try a new food, get concert tickets. What has it taught you about human nature and about how we live our lives?
It's taught me that we're all equal. We're all the same, regardless of where we come from. And when people, like our slogan is, "We wait for your wants." And it's taught me not to judge people based on what they want. That's a human need. People need things to be happy. And if I can bring happiness to them by just doing a simple deed as staying in one spot for X hours, that brings me pleasure. And when they get pleasure from me doing something for them, it's like a two-way street. So that's been one of the most rewarding things about this. And you wouldn't think, oh, he's not a doctor, he's not a lawyer, he's just, just a dude just standing in line. When I tell you the reviews that we've gotten there was one lady who wanted to go take her kids to see Hamilton. And she was a new mom. So she was, she was breastfeeding. And she put that in a review. She was like, I wanted to do this for one of my kids, but because I was breastfeeding, I couldn't do that. And I guess he did well in school and she wanted to reward him. And she's like, I will always be grateful to you guys for helping me fulfill the dream of one of my kids. And that was just one of the sweetest things.
That's a great story, Robert. Listen, I want to thank you for being here and telling us about your company.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Bill. I really appreciate it.
I hope you motivate others who might have lost a job like you did, but have an idea for starting something new. I think you'll inspire them.
Thank you.
I've been speaking with Robert Samuel of Same Ole Line Dudes. To find out more, visit us on Facebook. Our Facebook page is American Voices with Senator Bill Bradley. Thank you for listening to American Voices here on my YouTube channel. For more interviews celebrating the goodness and creativity of the American people, click the subscribe button below.